Hi there, Loy Machedo speaking to you from loymachedo.com. Who is Loy Machedo? Think Personal Branding. Okay, this is another one of the Ask Me Anything questions, which people commented below the announcement. And this one is from Mr. Afonso, not Alfonso. Okay, he had written down a list of questions, and this is question number 9. He said, resume tips for 2022-2023 season. I normally don't give resume tips for the simple reason being is I used to, if you actually check my old YouTube videos, I used to give resume tips and interview tips and all that. But then I realized it's different for different people. So I did spend some time to think what are the tips that would really help at least the general masses, whether it's a CEO, whether it's a director, whether it's a junior, whether it's a fresher, whether it's someone in the middle management. So taking all of them, okay? And given the fact that in Canada, maybe it's different, US, it's slightly different, Australia, Qatar, Bahrain, Oman, Saudi, different places have different requirements. So it's not possible to have one size fits all. However, I thought of 7 points which would really help. Okay. So these are the 7 points which you need to really think if you want to make your resume stand out from the rest of the crowd. Okay. I have put them in ascending order. So I'll give you the least important first, and finally the climax, the most important at the end. So that does not mean the least important is not important. It is also important. Okay. So resume tips for, you have asked for resume tips of 2022-2023 season. You can just say these are the resume tips for 2023, because anyway, now it's October, November, December. Okay. So here are the resume tips for 2023. At number 7, okay, these are my top 7. At number 7 is presentation. And I think presentation is something almost everyone is good at, but there are some people who are much better than the others, and some people who are even better. Now, because of confidentiality, I cannot share with you what people have sent me, but I've really seen some really good looking CVs. Good looking. By presentation, I mean the color, the font, the design, the placement, the way it is made. So presentation is very important. And I know by default, most of you use templates which are available online. Yes, there are some templates you really should not use, like the bar, you're putting these bars and rating yourself and skills and putting those cartoony emojis. Please don't do all that, okay? By presentation, I'm not talking of making your resume look like a cartoon brochure, or you're not selling a car, with all these graphics. Just keep it real, okay? So by presentation means it looks like a really well-made document. It's visually pleasing. It's like someone dressed up very well in a nice suit. Okay, so presentation, number 7, it should look good. At number 6, this is almost everyone does this, but then there is the right way to do it, and there are so many wrong ways to do it. And by that, I mean the sellability of your resume. The problem I feel is either people don't know how to sell themselves, and by that, they will just put the boring information, the way what they're doing, they'll just slap that onto the CV. This is what I do. I do accounts, payables, I do balance sheet, I do this, I meet customers, I do coordination. So either they don't know, or they position themselves as God's gift to mankind. It's like, I increased the company share by 2.1%, brought in revenues of $6.3 million, and improved productivity by 17.8%, brought down the costs by 3.98%, and increased the overall share of the market by some percent. Sometimes when I read all this, I'm like, bloody hell, if you're so damn good, why is the company even letting you go? And then it's so ridiculous to read. Oh, I bought in billions. Some people even use billions of dollars worth of contracts. Man, if you're so great, for example, if I was an employer and you're bringing in millions of dollars for me, I'm just paying you 1,000 and you're bringing millions. Why should I let you go? I'll keep you happy. I'll make you my partner. So people oversell. There's a fine line between being stupid and dumb and not knowing how to sell versus hyper inflating your ego just to sound like God's gift to man. There should be a balance in between, and that right amount is the hardest part. It's like the right amount of salt to put in a dish. That takes a little bit of experience. So point number 6 is sellability. Point number 5. I think a lot of people need to realize that using jargon, flowery words, bombastic language, grandiose statements, those are the thing of the past. We are not in the 18th century English or Shakespearean language. Some people like to make their resumes with all the words that they took online. They'll check a thesaurus. They'll make it like, some of the CVs have to literally look at the copy paste this on a separate document and look at every word and try to understand what the hell are you trying to tell me, man. So remember this, Gmail is simple, Google is simple, Facebook is simple, Instagram is simple. All these billion-dollar companies, they keep it simple, like the principle of KISS. Keep it simple, stupid, So same thing with your resume. If the language that you're using is not what you communicate on a day-to-day basis, please don't use it on the resume. Keep your resume simple. I'm not saying dumb it down so much like I did work. No, I'm not saying dumb it down so, but there is a certain amount of beauty that comes by being able to communicate in a language that most people would understand and appreciate. All right. So just make sure that your CV is simple and not filled with buzzwords and jargon. And please don't listen to the nonsense people say. Use buzzwords, use keywords, and I don't know who you're trying to fool. Unless there is a software where they are searching for engineer and you think, oh, they are looking for the word engineer. I'll put engineer 10 times in my CV. Engineer. If that was the case, if you could fool the AI, then I'm pretty sure all these billion-dollar companies, they would all get fooled because we think we are smarter than them, right? Okay. At number 4, people generally state what they are doing currently. But then remember, organization, when they take you, they are not only looking at does this person fit into this job position here, but they're looking whether you fit into the whole organizational structure, whether you will blend in, and whether you can take on the next role. And the ideal candidate is normally one who they feel, this person, I think, if trained well, will become the successor to the next position. They're looking for nuggets like that. So at number 4, you need to ask yourself, what's next? Do you fit into the organizational framework? Will they look upon you as a leader who can take on the next position? Or will they look upon you as someone who can be mentored and trained with the right attitude? So don't just slap on, this is what I've done. No, you need to give them, communicate to them not only what you have done, but can do. And it should be in line with the organizational values, the essence of the organization. Is it aggressive? Is it passive? Is it futuristic? Is it traditional? You need to figure all this out. Okay. And for that, you need to sit down with the guy who's rebranding your resume and do this. Point number 3. Now we are coming to the top 3. This is very, very important. This one, I have always seen people never do this. Never, ever do this. Make sure that your resume matches your personality. Almost everybody will copy paste some shit from the internet or copy someone else's CV. My dear friend, even if you're putting a marriage proposal, you need to put it in your own words. If you're putting your profile for searching for a partner, for dating, it has to be you. You're not going to put someone else's photograph. You're not going to put someone else's statements. Because in the end, if you're dumb and you cannot speak, it's stupid, right? So it should match your personality. What does your personality, appear in this resume? Does that resume speak like you, talk like you, behave like you, act like you? Like, for example, me with my tattoos and the crazy creativity stuff that I have, I need to make the resume creative. I need to make the resume aggressive like me. It should be like I take my work very personally, but then I also know how to. So all this has to show on the resume. I can't make my resume look like a very, uh, reserved, shy, and minding my own business and blending it with everyone. No, you have to. Like, that is why my personality being shocking, my resume also would be shocking. Now you might say, Lloyd, but then you'll not fit in. Yeah, but it should match me, right? If it doesn't match me, just imagine I make a resume that looks prim, proper, and perfect. And then they call me for an interview and then they see my face. Oh, bloody hell. Oh, his CV looks something else, he's something else. So don't do that. It's like having this Instagram filters where the girl appears to be, wow, amazing. But when you see her in real life, oh, bloody hell, what happened to her? She packed on pounds, 200 kilos in 24 hours or what? So be true to who you are. It should match your personality. At number 2, now we are coming to the last 2, the climax. At number 2 is the content. I always tell people content is king. Okay. Forget, even if your presentation is not, even if the C is not well designed, colors are not great, even if it's a plain sheet of paper, content is king. And there are 3 factors that come into content. Number 1, it should be interesting. Number 2, it should be intriguing. Number 3, it should be informative. I've told you this so many times. If you have these 3 I's, interesting, intriguing, informative, you nailed the job. Okay. And last, if not the least, the final, the climax. This is the most important point. People generally put on the CV what they want. My objectives, my job profile, my expertise, my skills, all that is fine. But what is the organization looking for? The organization is looking for your objectives or their objectives. They're looking for your skills or they're looking for skills that they want. Are they looking for your experience? Yes, your experience, but they're looking for experience that matters to them, right? So make sure the number 1 is the relatability. It should relate to what the employer wants, everything. Now, the mistake that people make here is, oh, what the employer wants. So what I'll do, give me a second. I got this call. 1 minute. I think it's a delivery. Hello? Yes? Delivery? Yeah. Okay. Come. Okay. Thanks. Now let's have delivery. Anyway, I'm coming to the last point. So the final point is the relatability. That means give them what they want. Always remember, the customer doesn't give a damn about your stories, your excuses, what all bombastic stuff you want. The customer wants what the customer wants. So same way, the employer doesn't care a damn of your experience, your childhood, your education, all that. If it doesn't matter to him, you can have 10 degrees and 20 Sigma certification and belts and this and that, or Marathi and Malayalam. But if he doesn't need that, what is he going to do with all your expertise? So please give them only what they want. Now, that does not mean you copy paste the job ad that he put and put it exactly on your CV. They're not that stupid. Don't ever do that. And I see so many people, I'll copy the job profile and I'll put it in my CV. Oh, he wants accounts, I'll put accounts. He wants coordinating, I'll put. They're not stupid. They see CVs every day. Like I tell people, don't teach your father how to, you know what. Anyway, these are the top 7 resume tips for 2023. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Did you find these are useful? And I can tell you one thing. If you do find the right person to rebrand your resume, he will consider these 7 points. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Good, bad, ugly. Love to hear from you. And yes, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me anything. You guys take care.